Hey guys, good morning and happy Mother's Day. I thought it would be fitting to start the new book that we're going to go through, Love Yourself by Lawrence Crane. And I love the subtitle. It says, and let the other person have it your way. Why is that? Because when you love, people treat you positively. And so people just give you what you desire. It's really a fascinating thing. Whereas if you're negative, it's a negative energy and produces negative things and people treat you negatively. And so I want to go through this, and this whole book, what I like about it is really you can experience God right away. You don't have to have years of study. You don't have to spend hours meditating. You're going to see immediate results in minutes when you apply unconditional love because that's your true nature. And unconditional love has infinite power. That means when you apply infinite love, everything that's of a lesser power, fear, worry, limiting beliefs, is overcome by the higher power. It really is a simple concept. It's not good versus evil. It's a higher energy, gets better results than fear, worry, anxiousness, lower energy stuff. And that's how you've been designed. And so you were born perfect. You are perfect. You don't need to be fixed. You don't need to become a master. God designed you as a master. God designed you in perfection. Two cells came together, guys, in this beautiful release of life and created 80 trillion cells, the magnificent you. You know, the fact that you have trillions of electrical transactions every second in your mind should cause you to realize, wait a minute, there's nothing wrong with me. God's not upset with me. God designed me. God made me this way. And so, um, what I love about this is as you go through this, like I said, almost the whole thing is a healing of your book, where you don't have to have faith to experience God. And we've created a religion that says that, where even if you go into that word, the root word pistis, is it says always a gift. And there's no no's or nots in scripture because no's or nots are negative energy, as we'll talk about. If you say no, versus yes. It's totally different energy, guys. No is negative, it's resistance. I don't like something, I don't want something, I can't have something, I don't know the answer to something. Well, all those produce more negative results. Whereas when you say yes, even when you say yes or love your worry, when you love your current circumstance exactly how it is, it dissolves it and brings it into infinite love because infinite love is a much higher power. Pretty simple, but here's the really cool part of what you can experience here. Um, And what I love about it is, since it is infinite power, you can experience God in minutes, guys. It doesn't take hours of meditation or years to become a master, like I said. When I play for you Larry Crane's audio, I wanted to play this audio because he actually walks you through what the book's about. Then I think the book makes a lot more sense. But here's if you're willing to do this, if you're willing to do it, if you weren't learning, if you're willing to experience infinite love that you are, that's always present, versus being taught about it. Most programs, religion itself, get into the word more, teaches you about God, and the mistranslations actually teach you something that is not true about God. So the more you get into the word, the more frustrated you get because you get further and further away from the truth, which is really a sad deal. So if you're willing to experience infinite love, here's what you have to look forward to. When you learn to love yourself, you can have everything. Sounds good so far. You can have everything and anything, even if it might seem unattainable to you right now. The world comes your way when you love yourself. People come your way. Money comes your way. Health comes your way. The big three, guys. When you love yourself, other people love you and you have lasting relationships because you're generating love. When you when you feel abundant, you generate abundance. So love is the same energy as abundance, and love is the same energy as health. When you love yourself, your body and your mind naturally heal. When you have negative beliefs, incorrect beliefs, wrong beliefs, they're toxic, they're negative. Guess what? Your body starts to react negatively, and you have all kinds of issues. And so, you love yourself. Everything you've been looking for comes your way. It says everything in your life works perfectly when you love yourself. That is a great, I'll probably title this that. So let me just share a couple things. We've been sharing your true nature is the unconditional, infinite power, love of God. That's easy. God doesn't struggle for things. We've been told we have to struggle for things incorrectly. The presence of God in you makes things easy. And so when we say no, I don't like this, when we come against things, when we say no to things, is we create more no. We create more negative things in our life. You generate negative energy, you get negative things. People treat you negatively. Circumstances seem negative. Everything seems negative. You remove that and you become your effortless self that you've always been, and you experience the presence of God in you almost immediately. You'll see he goes through this in a couple minutes, guys. And so when you when you when you remove the limiting beliefs and the negative, you have positive energy. Well, positive energy creates positive things. Energy E equals MC squared. Einstein figured that out a long time ago. Energy in the material world, um, there's equalities there. You change one on one side, you change the energy from negative to positive on one side, the material world must change to positive. It's a pretty simple concept, actually. And so, anyway, and somehow that the speed of light squared, that's the life part that we really can't figure it out. We can just experience it. It doesn't take much change of energy to change your material world. Just a little bit of shift in your energy, why you can experience God almost immediately, has dramatic change in the material world. It must, because it's multiplied by the speed of light squared. That's the God part of you, the effortless part of you. What if you took your love, your current state of abundance and your current health, and multiplied it by 186,000 miles per second squared? It would all increase dramatically. That's the effortless power of God, guys. So anyway, here's what's really interesting. He asks you to do things that you haven't ever done, like love your worry, love your negative circumstance, love your lack. Because if it truly has infinite power, love does, then anything that's of a less of energy or power, um, lack of love, lack of health, are absorbed and overcome, and everything starts to operate at the frequency of the increased power, of the increased energy of love, guys. So anything that's not love gets swallowed up by love. And so, just making sure I covered some of my notes. Part of the healing of your book thing is this doesn't require faith. You can prove it to yourself, as Larry Crane. You'll hear him say that a million times in this book. He goes, I'm not asking you to take this on faith. You can experience God. And all the no's and nots in scripture, as I've shown you over and over, are not there in the original hieroglyphics, guys, because your brain doesn't process no or not. God didn't design you that way. So when you see all these no's and nots, just flip it around and it says they're all positive promises, because that energy must produce that positive outcome. And all the things that says thou shalt not are typically like ooh or may. I'm not going to go through them all here, but you can go through and find my healing of the book services. They don't say thou shalt not. It says thou shalt experience the life, the effortless life and power of God from this flow, from this promise. So if you do it, it'll work for you. That's what's really great. Even if you don't think so. So that's why it doesn't require faith, because love is infinite power. If you apply it, everything that's not love gets swallowed up in love. So how do you know if you're operating um, in a lesser state than how you were designed? If you say, this is bad, I don't want this to happen, I don't like this, I don't know the answer to this. Now, somehow I figured that one out in school immediately. Like, I don't know the answer, but if I get into this quiet state and calm state and go to bed, the answer comes to me. Well, of course it does, because you calm down the analytical mind, and the all-knowingness, the Spirit of God, gives you the answer. It knows the answer to everything. So you never have to be in a place where you don't know. And so if you don't know, you go, I'm going to love that feeling of uncomfortableness that I don't know. I'm just going to say yes to that feeling, and say yes some more, and say yes some more. And just say, I love you. The answers come because you've applied infinite power. And so no is a form of resistance. It holds the things you don't want to you, because it's negative energy. It continues to produce negative things, negative relationships, lack of abundance, lack of health. So, um, on the other hand, unconditional love says yes to all things. That's the hard part for most people, because they've never done it before, as you'll hear. But if you do it, you're going to see here in minutes, guys, you'll start to experience the presence of God immediately in your life, and you'll start to receive results immediately. It doesn't take years, like I said. So, unconditional love says yes to all things. It even says yes to no. By applying love and saying yes to your frustrations and fears, worries, they all dissolve, And peace, happiness, and a sense of freedom comes. It's effortless because that's how you're designed. And your body, your mental health, your physical health, your relationships, your finances all begin to heal and thrive naturally and effortlessly because that's your divine design. So I'm just gonna turn off the videos so it's not distracting and play this part for you and actually do it. When he says, say yes, Y-E-S, just say it. Just say yes. Yes. So I'd recommend you close your eyes and just listen to this and participate.
And kind of work through it as we go. Right?
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So would you say that one of your issues is you're either worried or you're frustrated?
You're probably worried.
Okay, good. So I want to, and everybody follow along. On a scale of 0 to 10, with 10 being the most worrisome and 0 being the least worrisome, where would you be?
And 8.
Okay. Now, does the worry help you?
It never does.
Did you ever know anybody that worried themselves out of a problem?
No, of course.
Have you ever worried yourself out of a problem?
Yeah, so why is it still here?
No, you haven't worried yourself out of a problem, or it still wouldn't be there. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so I'm going to show, all I need you to do, I can show you how to get rid of the worry, but you're going to have to do something that you've never done before. Are you willing to do that?
Sure.
Okay. All I need you to do is say yes to the worry, so I can help you get rid of the worry. Would you be willing to do that? Just
Yes.
Y-E-S. Everybody follow along. Could you say yes to the worry?
I can.
Could you say yes to the worry some more?
Yes.
Could you say yes again?
Yes.
And could you say yes some more?
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 Yes.
And a little bit more.
Yes.
And more.
Yes.
And a little bit more.
Yes.
And a little bit more.
Yes.
And a little bit more.
Yes.
Now, on a scale of 0 to 10, with 10 being the most worrisome and 0 being the least worrisome, where would you be now?
Maybe a 6.
So it went down a couple of points, right?
Yeah.
Now, this will surprise you, but the worry will talk to you if you talk to it.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's your worry. Can you see that? It doesn't belong to anybody else but you. Can
Sure.
you see that? It's your worry.
Mm-hmm.
And you've been holding on to it, right?
Right.
If you've been holding on to it, guess what? You can let it go. It doesn't belong to anybody else. A lot of times people call me up, we do support, and they tell me that they're having trouble in this, their body hurts and their mind's driving them crazy. And I say, okay, look, can you put the owner on the phone? I mean, you're the owner, it's your feelings, right?
Yeah.
Okay, ask the worry if it wants to leave. Just go ahead and ask it if it wants to leave.
Do you want to leave?
What's it say?
No answer.
Well, ask it sincerely.
Yeah. Do you want to leave? Yeah. Yeah.
It does.
Yeah.
Okay, all feelings want to leave. Every negative feeling wants to leave. But you see, since you're the owner and you're the boss, it can't leave unless you give it permission. So just say to it, this may sound silly, but watch what happens. Say to the worry, I love you, and I give you permission to leave.
I love you, and I give you permission to leave.
Okay. So on a scale of 0 to 10, with 10 being the most worrisome and 0 being the least worrisome, where would you be now?
That made a huge difference.
Where are you?
Yeah, I'm probably maybe a 3.5. 4.
Right. All right. So it's like crabgrass. If you don't pull out the crabgrass, it starts growing back. Ask the remaining worry if it wants to leave.
Do you want to leave?
Yeah. Okay. All right. I love you.
Yeah, they do want to leave.
I love you.
I love you.
And I give you permission to leave.
And I give you permission to leave.
So where are you now? On a scale of 0 to 10, with 10 being the most worrisome and 0 being the least worrisome, where would you be?
Yeah, it's almost non-existent.
You got it. Now, do you have any idea how long that could possibly take, if at all, ever happen, if you were being analyzed or whatever is out there?
Right.
And we just did this in about 2 minutes.
Yeah.
You see that? Now, anybody can do it once learned, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, it doesn't necessarily mean you got rid of all your worry, because the mind goes real deep and the computers have a lot of stuff. A lot of stuff has been suppressed. But once you learn how to do it, then you just do it. If it comes up some more, you do it again. You do it again till you get rid of it. That make sense?
Yeah, it does.
All right. So, what about the frustration? Let's work on that.
Okay.
Now, frustration occurs because and most people in the world is pretty frustrated. When you can't have what you're looking for, you get frustrated, right?
Mm-hmm.
Where's it coming from? I mean, it's definitely not a benefit to us, and yet we have it.
Mm-hmm.
Most people are not living the life they want to live. They don't live the lifestyle. They don't have the financial wherewithal that they want. They have weight problems. They have relationship problems. They have problems with their children, on and on and on. That'll cause you a lot of frustration. You can get frustrated just reading the newspapers, watching the newspaper, what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
That'll get you frustrated, all right? So ask your mind if it knows how to get rid of the frustration. It doesn't have a clue, does it?
No.
If I ask you what your name is, you can give it to me. If I ask you what your telephone number is, you have that.
Yeah.
Now, can you see how silly it is to ask something for years and years and years and for an answer that's not there? It's like looking in an empty file cabinet for an answer that's not there. We keep looking. Right? Okay. Now, but it does have one answer. It tells you to beat yourself up.
Oh, wow.
Doesn't it?
Sure.
You think that would cause frustration? Now you want to know what the source of frustration is. You're beating yourself up. All right. Now the question is, how do you get rid of it? Well, you need to ask yourself an important question. If it's not resolving the frustration, I need to make a decision. I'm going to be positive and love myself, or I'm going to be negative and beat myself up. What do you decide?
Well, you'd obviously choose to love yourself.
All right. So on a scale of 0 to 10, with 10 being the most frustrated and 0 being the least frustrated, where would you be now?
That's 7, I guess.
Okay, good. All right. So now you get made a decision. So could you let go of disapproving of yourself since you're doing it?
Mm-hmm.
Could you let go of disapproving of yourself a little bit more?
Yes.
And could you let go of disapproving of yourself a little bit more?
Yes.
And 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 could you give yourself some approval?
Yes.
And could you give yourself a little bit more approval?
Yes.
And could you give yourself a little bit more approval?
Yes.
And a little bit more?
Yes.
And a little bit more?
Yes.
Now on a scale of 0 to 10, with 10 being the most frustrating and 0 being the least, where would you be now?
On this specific issue, I guess around a 4.
Right. All right, go ahead and ask it if it wants to leave.
I can't be this easy.
It is. Go ahead and ask it if it wants to leave.
Do you want to leave? Do you want to leave? I got a yes.
Yeah, okay. I love you.
I love you.
And I give you permission to leave.
And I give you permission to leave.
So on a scale of 0 to 10, with 10 being the most frustrating, 0 being the least, where would you be now?
Yeah, probably a 2.
Okay. And you keep working on it, it'll go down to 0.
Right.
You have no frustrations at all. And if you don't have any frustrations at all, to the extent that you have no frustrations, to the extent that your life is happy.
All right, guys. Hopefully you realize how simple that is and how effective that is. And so I'm excited to go through this with you. It really is everything that we've been talking about. It's just he puts it in a very simple, practical way. And if you love yourself, if you actually go do that, you can do that at any time. And saying yes and loving yourself are really the same thing. And it's because saying yes is unconditional love. And so you can just say yes to all your worries, yes to your frustrations. Just say, hey, do you want these? Would you like to leave? Everything negative wants to leave. It's exactly what Rhonda Burns was talking about. It's coming up in your life because it's out of love. You want to be free from it for the rest of your life. And so when you just say, yes, I love this. Yes to this worry. Yes to this situation. I love this. You're applying infinite love. And then as you said, if you think you can't have something, the more you love, the more you feel like all the limiting beliefs go away and you naturally feel like, yeah, I think I can have it. I just love myself. I bless myself. So that's really what's going on. And what's so great about it, guys, is when you love yourself, as he says, you can experience God immediately and have immediate results. You don't have to have faith. You don't have to become a master. You can experience it right away. The world comes your way. People come your way, money comes your way, health comes your way. Everything in life perfectly. Everything in your life works perfectly when you love yourself. So excited to see the testimonies. Go through it. Your mind will tell you this can't be. I'm not going to actually experience it. I'm just going to listen. Actually go through it. When he says, can you say yes to that? Say yes. When he says, can you give yourself some more approval? Just say, yes, I love myself. I bless myself. Yes, I love this situation. I love this situation. I bless this situation. And that is the unconditional love with infinite power and energy that produces all these things for you. So excited to go through this over the next few weeks with you guys.